Morning. Oh, 1 minute. Let's go.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity Church of Greater Rochester. Thank you for making it out this morning. We're all in the right place at the right time. And we can sing that to ourselves and each other this morning to start off. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here.
All right. Thank you. Good morning. Beautiful morning. Good to see you. Good to be here. Good to come together. So allow yourself to just settle in here. Because we've come together from a lot of different places with many different things going on. This is a good place to be. This is a good place to bring in our prayers, to bring in our dreams and our needs. So, John, if you would bring up the prayer box. John Taftner is one of our prayer chaplains and a new member of the Board of Trustees. We're going to see if we can get him to do some more jobs too. Okay, thank you. We've stepped into a large space. We've stepped into a room that is connected with every church in the world. Every synagogue, every temple, every mosque, every sacred circle. We share that spaciousness with everyone, everywhere, because there's only one presence and one power. That absolute goodness of God is within us and within everything. And because of that oneness, we are one. So we step into that and let go into that and open ourselves to that one presence and one power. Here at the Unity Church of Greater Rochester, this is the mission and vision statement that was adopted several years ago. Let's declare this together. We are the Unity Church of Greater Rochester. We envision a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. Embracing all, we transform our lives using unity principles. Transformation, personal transformation, global transformation. That's going to happen no matter what. Because the activity of God, the one presence and one power of absolute goodness, is in the business of transforming everything, completing the work of creation, extending the work of goodness. As we align with that, we experience that goodness in our lives. Let's do an affirmation about about our community. Unity Church of Greater Rochester is a radiating center of the light, love, and glory of God, mighty to attract its good and to radiate that good to others, to share that good with others. This is kind of a vision. This is a statement about who we are and what we're doing. Let's declare this together. The Unity Church of Greater Rochester is a radiating center of the light, love, and glory of God, mighty to attract its good and to share that good with others. Centered in God, allowing a flow to move through this community. The same thing is true for each one of us. Each one of us is a radiating center of the light, love, and life of God. Each one of us is mighty to attract our good and to share that good with others. Each one of us is made in the image and likeness of God. Where is it? I am made in the image and likeness of God. This is an affirmation from my wife, Suzanne, that she uses regularly. She always starts with, I am made in the image and likeness of God, and talks about light and love and life and how that manifests in her life. How would you like the light, love, and life of God to manifest in your life today, this week? Be open to what can happen. Let's declare this affirmation together. I am made in the image and likeness of God. The light of God guides me. The love of God connects me with my good. the life of God makes me whole, well, and free, just as I am created to be. Guided, connected with good, filled with vitality and strength and health. Practical spirituality is what unity is about, making a difference in our daily lives. We've been working with a book, How Then Shall We Live? Practical, well, it's not very practical because it doesn't give you a bunch of how-to steps. It just asks 4 big questions. And the process of answering those questions has an effect on our lives. Who am I? What do I love? How am I going to live knowing that I will die? And what is my gift to my family of the earth? Big questions. Who am I? Who are you? You're a spiritual being with a particular, living in a particular time in a particular place with particular people doing particular things. But first and foremost, a child of God, an activity of God, a conduit for the love of God. What do you love? Where do you share that love? Where does that love flow? What you decide to focus your attention on, where you decide to hold in your heart, shapes, directs the entire life experience. So, who am I? What do I love? So then, what do I do? Knowing that I have a limited amount of time here. I live with gratitude, simplicity, remembering the good. Live with a sense of connectedness, of giving, participating in the flow of life. And that's the 4th question that we have. What's my gift to the family of the earth? What's our gift to the people that we share life with, to our personal families, to our neighbors and our friends and our coworkers? We have an effect on each other. The more conscious we are of what we think, say, and do with others has an effect, affects how well we live. What's our gift to the family of our neighborhood, to the family of Rochester and Western New York and the United States? What's our gift to the earth and the universe? Because we have an extended family that includes everyone, everywhere. And we have something that only we can contribute. We are a gift. We're created in the image and likeness of God. We're created with a particular set of skills and talents and needs. And we're created with a particular set of connections that places us uniquely right where we are, and what we are, who we are, where we are is our gift. I wrote in the little description in the newsletter. I remember hearing when I was growing up some people saying, "What do you think you are? God's gift to the world?" Yep. I didn't hear that when I was a kid, but that's the truth. Every one of us is God's gift to the world. Now that sounds arrogant. Well, it's the truth. But if you know that everyone else is also God's gift to the world, that we are equal in that sense, it's not arrogance, it's empowerment, it's affirmation. What's my gift to the family of the earth? Where am I? We make a difference, and that's what I'm talking about today. Being the gift, offering our gift ourselves, makes a difference in the world. One of the topics in that section of the book is giving and receiving. So I'm going to talk about giving and receiving today, but I'm not going to talk about tithing. I'm not going to talk about money. Well, I am going to talk about money. I'm not going to ask for money the way that preachers often do when they talk about giving and receiving. I'm talking about something that's much larger than money. But money's an issue in it. So we're going to sing a song now that is usually sung in services where they talk about tithing. It's an old gospel song that I have changed the words a little bit to make it a little bit more like unity, to talk about God within instead of God on high. But it's called You Can't Beat God Giving. When I first had this song sung at a church where I was in Grand Rapids, a grumpy old lady said, what's that mean? What's that mean, God giving? I never heard that in Unity. Charles Fillmore never said that. He may not have used that phrase, but it's about the unconditional flow of goodness from God. And that also can come from us. So let's sing it, and we'll think about it and talk about it a little bit.
You can't beat God giving, no matter how you try. And just as sure that you are living and the Lord is deep inside, the more you give, the more God gives to you. Just keep on believing, because it's really true. You can't beat God giving, no matter how you try. God gives me help. God keeps me strong. God guides me that I not go wrong. God gives me everything that I need. My every hunger feed. You can't be God giving, no matter how you try. And just as sure that you are living and the Lord is deep inside, the more you give, the more God gives to you. Just keep on believing, because it's really true. You can't side. The more you give, the more God gives to you. Just keep on believing because it's really true. You can't be just giving no matter how you try. No matter how you try.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. One of the words I changed up there was just keep on believing, because the way it's written is just keep on giving. Because a lot of times any talk about giving and receiving is kind of manipulative. It's trying to get you to give more. That has caused a lot of people to stop attending church. This is about, it's about money, but it's also about life and love and light and how we spend our thoughts and our words and our actions, how we live, the gift of our being to the earth. Usually it's about money. And, well, Jesus said, give and you will receive. A couple different ways. Didn't say how much to give. He didn't say where to give. As a matter of fact, he had some arguments with the clergy of the day that were manipulating people into giving more in their sacrifices. And he said, I'm not into making people give more. I'm not into creating obligations for people. I'm about mercy and love and oneness. And so he talked about giving and receiving, but he didn't say, like it says in Malachi, one of the probably the most popular Bible verse with preachers everywhere, bring the full tithe into the storehouse and I'll make sure the windows of heaven open up and rain down prosperity on you. Full 10%, bring it all in, give it to the place where you're spiritually fed. That's a source of spiritual abuse, spiritual misinformation. There are too many people, too many ministers, spiritual teachers of all sorts, all flavors, all tribes, living, how do I say this? Too extravagantly, being too wealthy, talking about living well. There's too many wealthy clergy and spiritual teachers that give prosperity a bad name in a spiritual context. See, prosperity is really just about living well, being healthy and happy, and having a joyful relationship with life, having good relationships, having your needs met, having enough time to do what you want, having the clarity of mind to know what you want to do. It's not about being manipulated to give more or saying, if you give, you're going to get something back in return. This for that. It's like they're selling tickets to heaven. Okay? Now that sounds funny. That sounds silly to us. But that's really what a lot of prosperity teachers are doing. Saying, if you do this, then you'll get this in return. Well, maybe not. A lot of people that are giving out of obligation, giving out of trying to manipulate the universe, end up losing, end up being impoverished in that program. It's not about money, but money's part of it. Here, let me give you, here's something that Charles Fillmore said about it. Charles Fillmore said, we must learn to let go of an acquisitive spirit. I like that, acquisitive spirit, and replace it with a spirit of generosity. We do this readily enough as a mental drill, but are not so willing to do so when money is involved. We let go of trying to grasp things. We let go of holding on to things mentally, but when it comes to our pocketbooks, it's a different thing. Okay, so what that says is we're not whole and complete. We're not in harmony with every part of ourselves. Our finances and our health and our relationships and our purpose in life, they all need to be lined up and appreciated and accepted as the gifts that we are. Give more. Stop. So there needs to be a balance of giving and receiving, and there needs to be an attitude of giving and receiving that is like God giving, an attitude of generosity, an attitude of grace, generativity. That's a word that means taking care of the future, investing in what's coming up, supporting new things, grace, gratitude, generativity, generosity. That's how to live. That's being in alignment with a divine flow. If we give too much, we can burn out. If we give too much, we can end up with resentment. If we don't give much at all, we could end up disconnected, egotistical, arrogant. And so giving too much or not receiving enough, not being open to receive, not being open to share, creates an imbalance within us. And so it needs to be balanced. It needs to be centered in a spiritual flow of the divine, not in some obligation. Jesus said, forget about the obligations. Think about mercy. Giving and receiving is a spiritual principle. It's about being the light of the world. Each one of us, the light of the world, is a gift from God to the world. There's a circular flow to things. So on the absolute sense, everything flows from the source. Everything comes from the divine, from one eternal, limitless, loving source. Everything, the universe, us individually, everything else. And everything returns back to the source, increased, because the flow grows and supports newness and creativity. Our lives, we come in the way we do, and over the course of our lives, we grow and we cause growth around us, or we cause learning around us for others, increasing the goodness that exists, and it all returns back to the divine. So whenever we give out of a sense of grace and goodness, it returns back to us. In the same way that it does on this absolute cosmic level, it works on a personal level as well. As we share good, we receive good. We attract good into our lives, and we share the good that we get. It's that flow that blesses us, heals us, prospers us, brings us joy. It invites us to be in grateful receptivity. There have been a number of studies about giving, about people giving their time. Found out that volunteers, retired people that volunteer, live longer. Most of them. The ones that are volunteering because they want to live longer, they don't live any longer. You know, the ones that are doing it to get something to get it back, it's like buying a ticket to heaven. You know, that doesn't work that way. But the ones that volunteer just out of the goodness of their hearts, that's a good phrase, isn't it? The goodness of their hearts, that do it just to do it, they live longer. They've looked at what professions have the longest life expectancy. Symphony conductors live longer than any other single profession. But that's true of some artists. That's true of people that love what they do. Not for what they get, but they love what they do. And it works for people that have some difficult job, but love the life that they have because of the connections they have with the people in their family or their community. And so the people that are living in love, living in the joy of being, get the vitality of life returned back to them, and they live longer. Some people in helping professions, like ministers, teachers, social workers, sometimes take on more than they should. And their life expectancy is a little less than average. The ones that try to do too much are out of balance with giving too much, taking on too much of a burden, sacrificing themselves in spite of the good that they do. So there's a balance there of giving and receiving. Light, love, and life. Givers of grace, receivers of grace. Has to be balanced, just like our breath needs to be balanced. Need to balance inhalation and exhalation. We need to balance the being in the flow of carrying and being carried. We do that by being ourselves, being our own selves, to do what is ours to do what we like to do what we love to do, even if we can't do it 24/7, but to have the experience of being in the zone, in the flow, connected. Be the one that you want to be. What would that look like for you? What would it look like for you to be balanced like that? Having a sense of joy and peace where you are, with what you do, with what you have, with what you give, with what you receive, what you spend, what you take in. It has to do with who you are, knowing yourself, knowing the spiritual reality that you are, and knowing what you love. What is it that brings you joy, that makes you awake, and gives you life? And doing that, living that now, not instead of putting it off. And in so doing, you are a gift of the light, love, life, and glory of God. So, I'm going to think about this. What do you have to be? What would you like to do? What have you always wanted to do or be? So we're going to sing a little bit. We're going to chant a little bit. So instead of just singing a couple of verses, we're going to sing it a lot of times, over and over and over again. We sang this last week. There's two parts. They go on at the same time. Sing whatever part you like. That sounds a little loud, Jerry. This is the truth. We align with this truth and then allow our life to flow.
In the light, in the love, in the glory of God I am. In the light, in the love, in the glory of God I am. In the light,
as God created me.
in the glory
In the light,
of
in the love, in the glory.
in the
I am
light,
as God created me.
in the glory
In the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me.
in the
In the light, in the love, in the glory.
in the
I
light,
am as God created me.
in the
In
glory
the light,
of
in the love,
God
in
I
the glory.
am.
I am as God created me.
In the
In
glory
the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me.
in the
In the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me. In the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me. In the light, in the love, in the glory.
In
God, I am.
In the light,
In the love, in the glory of God, I am.
one more time.
In the light and in the love, in the glory of
I am as God created me, in the light, in the love, and the glory. In the light. You might change that a little bit to say, I'm the light. I'm the love. I'm the glory of God. I am. I'm the light. I'm the love. I'm the glory of God. I am. Let those words continue to move. Let your mind be softened by their flow. Allow yourself to be carried to a quiet place where you can consider the I am. The I am that receives. The I am that is a source of all giving. The I am that is uniquely you. God's gift to the world. God's energy extended to make a difference. That's who you are. Sit with that for a moment, openly and receptively, gratefully, peacefully. Sit in the silence of the light, love, and glory of God that you are. In the silence. Mm. Who have you come here to be? What have you come here to do? What is the gift that you are to the family of the earth? You are the activity of God right where you are. You are a radiating center of the light, love, and glory of God. You are a radiating center of the light, love, and glory of God, mighty to attract your good and to share that good with others. God's gift to the world. That's a good thing to remember. A radiating center of light, love, and glory. Attracting good and sharing good. It's a powerful affirmation. I am a radiating center of the light, love, and glory of God. I am mighty to attract my good and to share that good with others. That affirmation is up on the screen. Let's affirm it together. I am a radiating center of the light, love, and glory of God, mighty to attract my good and to share that good with others. What do you want to do? What do you want to be? Now's the time to do it.
In the light, in the love, in the glory of God I am. In the light, in the love, in the glory of God I am. I am as God created me. In the light, in the love, in the glory, I am as God created me. In the light, in the love, in the glory.
When you're gonna live your life now the way you always wanted to, when you're gonna find the love it's deep inside of you, when you're gonna climb the mountains that lie across your path now, when you're gonna be the one you never quite allowed yourself to be the one you want to be. When you're gonna learn the lessons that life is always giving, when you're gonna cross the threshold that makes life worth the living, when you're gonna love somebody the way you always wanted to, when you're gonna find that love is all inside of you and be the one you want to be the one you want to be change the patterns that keep your life from growing? When you're gonna free your spirit and let your love start flowing? When you're gonna let your light shine through all your fears and sorrows? When you're gonna claim your birthright and be the one you want to be? Be the one you want to be. When you're gonna love somebody the way you always wanted to? When you're gonna find the love it's all inside of you and be the one you want to be. 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 Be the one. Be the one you want to be. Be the one you want to be.
Right. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh. So what's that mean you're going to do today? Huh? This week? Get an idea? Be yourself. Do what you love. That's a gift to the world. This is right now is the time where you have an opportunity to give a gift in support of Unity Rochester. We don't get grants or aid from any organization or any higher part of Unity. This community is supported entirely by the tithes and love offerings of the people that are part of it. So we give thanks for your participation here. I thought I'd use the love offering blessing, I'd modify the love offering blessing a bit today to align with what we've said about being in the flow, about being aligned with God giving. The love, light, and life of God flow through me now. We've been talking about that. We have, hopefully, we've had an experience of that. And we give here this week with gratitude, generosity, generativity, and grace. Let's affirm this together. The love, light, and life of God flow through me now. I give with gratitude, grace, generosity, generativity, and grace. All of those G words. So it is. So it is. Thank you for your gifts. Thank you for your support of this ministry. I dedicate these gifts to do the work of unconditional love, universal truth, and abundant life. The prayer box will be available in the back if you would like to submit a prayer request for our prayer team. Other announcements? We're have a follow-up discussion Wednesday evenings, 6:30. Meditation every Thursday at noon. Prayer chaplains are available to pray with you personally after the service up here. There are a lot of people that could use our prayers right now. I mean, we can't escape the tragedy that's happening. I mean, not just in Ukraine, and that's tragic, it's enormous, but in many other places too. So let's open our hearts to extend the goodness of God to them. We're going to say the words of the prayer for protection about light, love, and power and presence. Imagine that we're going to extend it, radiate it with energy out to people who feel hopeless. So let's stand. Let's stand. Connected with the earth, with a sense of power, assurance, and peace. We're going to say these words for you instead of us. We're going to extend that to you. Let's declare them together. The light of God surrounds you. The love of God enfolds you. The power of God protects you. The presence of God watches over you. Wherever you are, God is, and all is well, and there can be peace, and it can begin right now. Meant to be with God our Creator, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous time, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. It does begin with us right now. So it is. My soul is That was really, really nice.
Always great talking exercise. Radiant You're welcome. Thank you. It's such a joy. Thank you.
You guys are great.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's always, you know, a new challenge. It's fun. Well,